What's up, everybody? I'm gonna wait for everybody to join real quick. See who joins. Amazed at tonight's show that I'm gonna be hosting on Truth Frequency Radio Network. Of course, if you're familiar with me and my work, my show is called The Eye of Ra Radio on the Truth Frequency Radio Network. And you can step inside the Eye of Ra every Saturday night, 7 to 9 Eastern, 4 to 6 Pacific. Welcome everybody in joining right now. I have a lot to share real quick. I'm driving and my show tonight is going to be off the hook. Jorge Martin, you probably only know him from my show, but in Puerto Rico he's very well known. And the U.S. tries to keep a lot of news from Puerto Rico away from the mainland states and the rest of the world because of what's taking place in Puerto Rico. And in my opinion, and the opinion of a lot of other people, is that the hurricanes, I can't say that they for sure were a design storm, but the powers that be, the military that are trying to control the stargate activity in the Yunque rainforest and the surrounding areas of Puerto Rico, they needed electricity out, internet out, all access to roads, all types of things. They needed people with no technology for a long time. I've been to Puerto Rico before. I know people that have houses in Puerto Rico that the military were trying to buy from them constantly because they were on certain land that is known for UFO activity. And the Yunque forest has ancient stargates within it that just open up, and sometimes flying reptiles come out of them and all types of beings. And there are 3 or 4 main locations that have stargates, just dimensional portals, vortexes that just open up, swirling gates that just open up right in the rainforest of Puerto Rico. And Jorge is going to be talking about all of this tonight that has been suppressed. A lot of new information. And if you go on my website, themysticalspiral.com, you can see my most recent post, and my news media page has the pictures that go along with tonight's show. And they'll be going in order as I have them posted and numbered in order, as he's going to talk about them as they go in order. Now, there's a lot of other things that I wanted to bring up too. I can't see who's writing in the chat room right now. Let's see. Anybody's writing live right now. There's Ken Hancock in La Hey, Star Queen. Who else is there? Anita. I can't tell. I can't see that far. I can't wait till I get my contacts. I gotta go to the eye doctor and get contacts. Right now I'm wearing old glasses. These actually are nice glasses too. They're like Versace or something. My mom bought these for me when she was alive, and she died in 2011. So I'm wearing these old ass glasses because I ran out of contacts. I've been wearing contacts for like the last 15 years straight, just barely giving my eyes a break. So when they ran out, I figured give my eyes a rest for a little while and wear my glasses. But I gotta get my contacts now, so I can't even tell right now from who's popping up. But I wanted to talk about some of the visions I've had and what I feel is taking place. Even on my satellite radio station that I have, I've had XM radio for like since 2010, ever since I got this car. And one of the stations even that they have on here that I didn't even realize till like a week ago is Joel Osteen Radio. And I don't know if anybody is Christian out there, and I have some really good friends that are Christians, and I do have some similar beliefs as Christians. You know, I'm not just set on one designed religion and all their beliefs, and I have a more open mind. Sometimes from new information that arises and things that happen, I can change my mind from one week to the next as what I believe, because things change, you know. And when you get indoctrinated in a religion, you're set in your ways, and if you go outside of that, then you're evil. And I can't limit my consciousness to a religion like that. And the old ways that I'm familiar with is being in tune with your soul and your environment and your nature, and working with the forces of nature, and not being greedy and not letting it take control of you. And when you claim a religion, it's like being greedy. You're saying, oh, we know what's going on more than you do. Our religion knows what's up, not your guys. But that's not what I'm getting at here anyway. What I'm getting at, even in the Bible, they talk about how the Antichrist will come in many forms. And even within Christianity and the church, some of them will be preaching like, you know, and I think this guy, Joel Osteen, is not really a man at all. And he is more like a mind virus. And whether he knows it or not, he is being controlled by an ancient force. This materialistic plane that we're trapped in. The cycle that most humans are just stuck in. This force is being ruled by a quantum intelligence, and it has many branches. In Etruscan culture, they call this one spirit, this one kind of folletto. Now in Etruscan, and listen to this where I'm going here, because this is what I believe this Joel Osteen was. It just, they back in the day, they called things spirits. Nowadays we call things aliens and things like that, but back then they called them fae or fairies or folletto in Italy. Now folletto or folletti can mean many things. It can mean a goblin, it can mean an elf, it can mean a fairy, a star being, some sort of interdimensional creatures. Basically, there's all sorts of them. They're codes that get activated within another dimension of our realm, and sometimes they end up in our physical dimension through certain technologies, certain sigils, certain programmings and rituals that have been implanted here, seeded here, because their DNA has been mixed with ours, and their technologies have been seeded within our consciousness and our very DNA. Now, most people call them aliens nowadays and not fae or fairies, but there's a spirit, or folletto, in the Etruscan culture that we call the Lauru. It's spelled L-A-U-R-U, the Lauru. Now, the Lauru, they can appear in human form. And when they appear, they will usually be dressed in the best of clothes. They will be always talking about how they have a lot of money, and how they have the best velvet, or the best clothes, or the best cars. And they will usually have very sparkly black eyes, curly hair, wavy hair, very shiny, sparkly teeth. And this is the embodiment of Joel Osteen. And if you see him, he's always talking about how if you pray to his God, if you pray to God that he believes in, you'll have more money, you'll have more cars, you'll thrive, you won't just survive, because Joel Osteen says so. That when he started praying to Jesus, and when he went to God, he started to be better looking, he started to be younger, he started to be richer. Now come on, this sounds like a materialistic demon talk to me. And you could go on Joel Osteen radio right now and find him saying those exact words. Now, I had a vision of him, and had no really prior information. The only thing I knew about him was he's some Christian dude that owned a whole stadium that he would pack with people and preach to. Never listened to him before. But during the time of the hurricane, I had a dream vision that involved what I saw to be this guy afterwards. I thought when I saw a picture of him online, I realized it was this guy. I saw him preaching, and he was standing outside of, I guess, his stadium. It was like this big thing, this big Coliseum type thing. I guess I saw it in my own imagery way. But the hurricane had ended, and he wouldn't let anybody in his doors to help them. People were dying. There was flooding everywhere, but he had salvation in his place, and he wouldn't let nobody in. And he was looking at them and preaching to them outside the doors and saying, you know what's wrong with y'all people? Is that you're just surviving. You're not thriving. You don't believe like I believe. You're all in this position, and you're all crying about the position you're in right now is because you're just trying to survive. You're just living week to week. If you really give yourself to Christ and give yourself to God and believe in me and God, you won't just survive, you'll start to thrive. And you won't need me because you'll have Jesus and he'll help you thrive. And then literally, I heard this very same message come true on Sirius XM on his station. He was actually telling people, survivors of this hurricane, that they're just surviving, not thriving. And it blew my fucking mind. Now this guy is what the ancients called the Lauru. The Lauru can help you if you pay the Lauru respect. He can help you win lotteries. He can give you lottery winning numbers. He can give you riches. He can give you things. This is the MO of the ancient Lauru, this ancient folletto. And this is this guy's game. He is an ancient demon. He is one of the, if you're a Christian, you would say he is one of these Antichrist figures, ushering the end times. And he comes with his black sparkly eyes and his white shiny teeth and his wavy hair and his expensive clothes and cars. I mean, it's the literal MO of the Lauru. Now tonight, and everybody, if you can, donate in the chat room to support me, support my radio show, please. Anybody who wants to donate $20 or more, I will send them a crystal. Also, my show tonight is going to be groundbreaking, everybody. Jorge Martin has been reporting he's been a reporter and researcher in the Puerto Rico and Caribbean area since the 1980s and 70s. I first found him in the 1990s on Unsolved Mysteries. He was the first guy to do an artistic rendition of the reports of the Chupacabra in Puerto Rico. But he goes way beyond that. He is very well respected. He's written many books in Spanish that I'm going to help him publish in English. And he gives me exclusive interviews that most people will never get to hear anywhere else. We formed a relationship over the last 3 years. He's a friend of mine. He trusts me. And Jorge has info that's being kept from us, being suppressed from us about the Yunque rainforest. And there are literal dimensional stargates in the Yunque rainforest that are ancient technology that he said he can't confirm or not, because of course we can't. So when I asked him privately, does he think it's some sort of Atlantean technology, ancient Atlantis technology? And he said, of course he can't say, but he thinks it is of the ancients. Even the Taino Indians had reports of similar reports of this activity in the Yunque rainforest and the surrounding areas. And I've had direct contact when I was there with some interesting things, and I found out some interesting information when I was out there that the military was suppressing. So thank you so much, everybody. If anything helps, if you guys donate, thank you so much. I'm really trying to get out of, we're living in a 1-bedroom apartment we're all stuck in right now with me, the baby, and my wife, so it's tough right now. We're doing a radio show and everything every week, and I'm really trying to better our lives, so I can do this full time. I can do readings full time, my radio show full time, and give you guys information full time. Really, if you guys aren't a subscriber yet to my Patreon, that's really where it's at. I do these drive time shaman videos a couple times a week on there that you can't find on YouTube. They're on my Patreon, patreon.com/themysticalspiral. And definitely check out my radio show tonight and my website that has the post that goes along with tonight's talk. There's 24 images that we posted on there. And the featured image on top is of a flying reptile creature that Jorge Martin's son, who was a Puerto Rican police officer, had an experience with, that literally landed on top of a police station in Puerto Rico. And there's been reports of flying reptile type beings coming out of the portals in the Yunque rainforest. Oh, thank you so much, everybody. Really, really, Ancient Star Queen. Thank you so much, everybody. So I want to also talk too about this ancient Etruscan DNA that I have, and a lot of things that you guys don't even know about me is that the military, you know, I had problems with the Church of Satan and the military at one time. And since you guys are supporting my cause, I'll be more open with you now on this live chat. I was seeked out by the Church of Satan and by the military when I was younger. They tried to kidnap me numerous times. And we have ancient DNA, all of us. All of us. Anyone even listening to this right now and interested in the topics that I'm talking about is because you are an old soul. You know that you have knowledge and ancient. You're meant for more. You have an ancient force within you. And you have this vaporous energy inside of your body, and the bodily fluids. Your bodily fluids have chemicals and excretions that can come out, that can heal you and activate certain things within your DNA. Thank you so much, everybody, for donating. You guys have no idea what's possible. We've been dumbed down by society and the elites. They are dumbing us down. So we are not powerful mystics. So we don't have this powerful information that's within our blood. And I'm trying to read in the chat room. Yeah, everything you need is already within you. It's so true. And you guys, there's big things happening on our planet right now, of course. And whether you believe in a multi-dimensional universe or not, that's one thing I can say for sure, is that we are living in a shadow of another reality. We are in a layered environment. We have dimensional layers to our reality. And we are surrounded by cones. They would look like cone spiral vortexes that are sort of like time jumping, like time jumpers off of this realm. We can tap into certain moments and certain timelines all happening now. And I do believe that our material realm is surrounded by a network of cones or you know, dimensional stargates. And the Yunque rainforest is a big, big part of this. And I think that's why there's the myth of the Bermuda Triangle. I mean, part of it's pointing right out at Puerto Rico in this area. But there are ways, there are certain technologies where we can open up these gates on our planet. And the Pyramid of Cheops is one of these technologies. And the Great Pyramid. But tonight, we're going to be going down every angle of the Yunque rainforest and what's happening there and how the military is covering things up. And Jorge has some knowledge that no one else is talking about or, you know, willing to talk about. And Puerto Rico has been silenced. So let's awaken that silence tonight, everybody. Join me, please. Join me, spread the word. We need this to be heard. You know, I was even scared to take my car out today fearing that, you know, I wouldn't get home in time or something would happen. You know, look at this sky right now too, everybody. My phone's about to die soon too. Well, look at this, everybody. Check this out. I just saw Frank Castle. I was just at Frank Castle's house. Frank's a spiritual brother of mine. I don't know if he's gonna have a live show. He will definitely be listening tonight. And like I said, everybody, if you've never if you're not on my Patreon, please join my Patreon. The best subscription is $8 a month, because that's affordable and you get access to pretty much everything. But the higher subscribers, they get private consultations from me. I send them crystals in the mail and teach them how to garden with it, and how to do certain work with crystal energies, and how to become your own shaman. Things are going to be really changing this next year or two for us. And you know, my ancient DNA, this might sound crazy, but some of us have ancient, if you want to say ancient DNA, or old ones, the ancient ones in our DNA that have animal-like spirits in them. The Etruscan wolf was one of these spirits that's connected to my ancestry, where these ancient mystics were able to literally transform into spirit animals, where they're in another dimension of this reality, and they're part human and part animal. A shamanistic transformation. I think they call it therianthropism or something like that. It's being able to shapeshift, and I'm not talking some evil type reptilian shapeshifting thing. I'm talking about literally you can walk between worlds and transform into an enhanced version of you, where you have traits of your spirit animal and still traits of a human. And you're in another dimension of this world, another dimension of this reality. And the Etruscan wolf and the owl are very connected to my ancestry. And you know, we foresaw our downfall. This is really interesting information that you only can find little parts of this somewhere else, but I have more of the picture here before my battery dies out. Only got 5% left. The whole Roman civilization was started supposedly from the Etruscan wolf, the first clan Etrusca. Now, one of these ancient old ones, these Strega mystics, that were part of the lineage of the Grigori, had DNA of the very Grigori, was able to transform on this physical realm into a she-wolf, some sort of Etruscan wolf. And the Etruscans, the old ones, knew that their culture would not last very long, that they were going to be assimilated by warrior tribes, the Romans and surrounding civilizations that were ravaging them and just taking them for their knowledge. Now, even though we saw the Romans would take us over, the mystics foresaw their downfall, they still seeded the very civilization that was taking them over. They sent the very Etruscan wolf to seed the Roman culture. And when Romulus and Remus were sent to their death, sent out to sea to drown by the emperor so they couldn't continue the lineage of the kings in Rome, they were the ones, Romulus and Remus were the ones that started Rome. Romulus and Remus, hence Rome. Romulus, well, when they were sent out as babies to their death and sent in the water or something like this, they were thrown in the forest or something like this, they were found by the she-wolf. They were found by the Etruscan wolf. And this Etruscan wolf took them and they suckled from the Etruscan. They fed them milk, the she-wolf. And while they were sleeping, it imprinted the ancient knowledge to these ones. Literally taught them the knowledge of the spiritual forces of nature and the elemental forces and the ancient mysteries they taught in their sleep. Us Strega mystics, we believe, and this is specific and unique to the Italian culture, that we learn the ancient mysteries within our sleep. And we are taught these by the Grigori and the ancient ones, and the old ones. And this she-wolf, this old Etruscan wolf, seeded them with the knowledge of the Etruscan information so they can continue. And this is where the Romans got their knowledge from. Wow, I just hit a pothole. Watch, I get a flat tire now. This is where the Romans got their knowledge from. This very ancient she-wolf, shapeshifter, old one. And the Etruscan wolf is a special ancient energy that is still around Tuscany till this day. And you can find ancient pottery. I posted on my Patreon that's from thousands of years old, that has like a sort of like a she-wolf or a wolf type humanoid creature on the pottery. There were whole tribes of these wolves. There were genetic experiments long ago. There were a whole race of these type beings as well. And some of the old ones are able to transform into similar creatures as this. I talked about St. Christopher, who was a dogman type giant, who was on the calendar of saints to only a few decades ago, known as the patron saint of travelers. And it's interesting, he's similar to the dog-headed Anubis, who is also watches over travelers in the cosmic sea, transports people in the underworld, right? So these dogmen are watchers over the stargates. It's very interesting. But yes, Romulus and Remus, this is not just a myth. They were taught the ancient mysteries while they were sleeping, and they were protected by this she-wolf until they were found and taken, and they became the leaders of Rome. They were with this she-wolf for a week or two, and she kept them alive. And while they slept, she literally imprinted them with knowledge, taught them the ancient mysteries. And that is some information you won't find anywhere else. Everybody tune in tonight. 2 hours from now, we going live on tfrlive.com. Subscribe at my radio show as well, tfrlive.com/eyeofra. Thank you, everybody. It's such an honor to be able to share time with you. If my wife's listening, everybody out there that's supporting me right now, thank you so much. Everybody in the chat room. Love you all, and say it with me, everybody.